Yo, yo, yo. It's D.Arthur in the building. And I'm talking to you guys today about why women prefer men who are practicing no-fap/seed retention more likely than a man who is not practicing seed retention and no-fap. And the reason why I say this is because the man who is on, let's say, no-fap, the man who's on no-fap/seed retention, he's just going to be a little bit more, he's going to be a little bit more decisive, alpha. He's going to have a little bit more testosterone. He's just going to be a lot more attractive to people in general, not even women. And the thing is, like, you can have money, you can have status, you can have all of these things that, let's say, the men will try to acquire. But if everything was taken from you, could you still keep her? Could you still keep her grounded? Could you still attract who you wanted to attract without all that? And the thing is, in order to do this without any of the, let's say, extras, it'd be in your best interest to offer her something intangible. That would probably be your best interest to do if you really want to attract some very, let's say, quality women. Because like I said before, a lot of women have options. They especially the really top, the really let's say, attractive women, they have more options than you, regardless of who you are. If a woman wants to, she can just do something and men will flock to her. It's a lot easier for women to attract men than men to attract women. So the best thing for you to do if we're really trying to attract them is to be full stack. It's pretty much the only option now. It's pretty much the only option. That's pretty much the only option, because there's just so much competition. You have to be, and this is from a perspective of someone who is trying to attract the very finest, the most quality woman, if you say. You have to be full stack. You can have money, but that's not really the caveat. Unless she's a gold digger. If she's a gold digger, then by all means, attract her with what you have. But if we're talking about just her core attraction for just who you are, regardless of anything else, then it would be in your best interest to offer her, like I said, offer her intangibles. And intangibles means by the way you talk to her. The way you talk to her. This is pretty much the difference. This is what, people say looks, money, all these things. And it's how you can communicate. Because if she feels comfortable with you to the point where you're making her feel certain emotions just by your mere presence, then you're gonna have a leg up over the competition, no matter what anybody else has. It's how you make her feel when you are talking to her. And the thing is, once she's alone, once you're alone from her, she's gonna go back into her brain, she's gonna reprocess the interaction, and she's gonna sum up how that interaction made her feel. And if it makes her feel a certain way, you're gonna register you're gonna register occupancy in her brain. You're gonna register you're gonna live rent free in her brain. And this is a very good place you want to be if you're trying to attract a certain woman. You want to be registered in her brain. This is the only way she can really submit to you. You have to do things a little bit different from everybody else. Men think that if I hit her up, if I text her, and if I give her all this validation over text message, then she's somehow gonna feel a certain way. And that is not the case. The only things that you should say over text message is the actions of what you're gonna do to meet up with her. That's it. There's all this back and forth talk over text really isn't gonna do anything. And when you have her in person, that's when your personality should show up. In order for her to feel emotions when you're talking to her, you have to be a little bit witty. You have to take a little bit of chances. You have to be a little bit bold. You have to take chances. The logical conversation, hey, how you doing? Where'd you go? What do you do for this? What do you do that? That's really not gonna work. The thing is, you have to ask her very at the beginning. If you never met her before, but you're really trying to get her, the first thing that you should do, you're trying to ask her very open-ended questions, very good questions, very good questions that make her think about what you're asking, so she can form a very good answer. Some examples are like, hey, I noticed something, this, where do you go to shop? What do you do? Like, where do you go to shop? Like, I noticed something about you. What are you doing? Like, you're basically, okay, you're basically trying to create, at the beginning, you're trying to create light rapport. You're just trying to ask some very mundane questions so she can open up. And then the thing is, as you're asking questions, what you're trying to do when you're asking her questions is you're trying to ask, the more questions you ask, you're trying to just ask her things that get her to reveal things about herself, reveal things that you wouldn't have known otherwise, reveal like something that she may be a little bit passionate about, maybe reveal something that she might have went through in her childhood. Reveal some certain things. You're trying to get her to reveal things. And then once you reveal those things, once she starts revealing those things, you're gonna have to get her to the point where she's talking about it a lot. She starts talking about it a lot, and you're making her feel a certain way when you're talking to her about it. Like, you just have to become very good at having a conversation. And the thing is, the best way to become very good at having a conversation is to ask very good questions. That is the only way you're gonna have a very good conversation. The better questions that you have, the better answers that she will give, and the more she will get to open up to you about it. And the thing is, once you get her to the point where she's opening herself up to you, and you can feel as if she's feeling something while you're asking those questions, you have to cut it off. You have to stop what you were doing and then talk to her about something. Ask her just another logical question. And the thing is, you have to keep doing this. And so the reason why you keep doing this is so you create an emotional bond with her. So every time she sees your presence, she knows that you are gonna be somebody who makes her feel certain things makes her feel a certain way when she is around you, because of the way you make her feel while you're asking these questions. If that makes any sense. Like, this is pretty much it. Like, you start asking her open-ended questions, and then you start basically trying to pinpoint something that she's very passionate about, and then you guys start talking about it, and you want her to get to the point where she's talking about it like very passionately. And then you keep doing this, and then you stop doing it, and then you go back to asking another very broad-ended question. Like I said, the thing is, you're trying to get her, once you get her to open up about it, you're creating an emotional bond with her. You're creating an emotional bond with her by the questions you ask and how she starts revealing a lot of things. The thing is, if she starts telling you things that she wouldn't have told you otherwise, then you're in a good spot. You're trying to get her to feel very comfortable with you while you ask her these type of questions. Because women like to feel emotion. If you can make her feel some very, very good emotions, then or maybe even you're just making her feel a very emotional roller coaster type of emotions, she's going to want to be more with you, because she has to feel as if she's feeling, you're making her feel like specific things when you're with her and talking to her. Like, you can buy her everything that you want. You can look the most alpha person that you want, but if you're not making her feel anything at a core level, then you don't really have her, and anybody else could take her. So I mean, make sure you're making her feel very good. Make sure you're making her feel different emotions when you're with her. And the best way to do this is to feel very good about yourself anyways. Everything starts with you. Everything starts with you. Once you start feeling really good about yourself, it's easier to do this. You can't just, like, let's say you want to relapse and then try to make her feel certain ways. There is a correlation between retaining your nut and going on NoFap and then making a woman feel certain emotions when you're with her, because the desire is there. The whole point is letting the desire, you're manipulating the desire for her by the way you act in front of her. And this doesn't mean like you're pandering to her every whim and you're just making her, and you're just buying, doing like things that make her like you're basically kissing up to her. That's not what I mean. I mean the desire that you feel, that you want her. You're doing things a little, you're being very witty, and you're having a lot of, let's say, banter, and you're talking to her in a joking way. The term is abrasive gentleman. You're saying things that may seem like may not be the nicest, but you're saying it in a very nice way. You're poking fun at her at times. You're just like the jokester, and you're making her laugh. You're making her feel emotions. And like I said, if you do this, she's gonna look at you as someone who she can hang with. And the more you hang with her, the easier it is to create an emotional bond with her. And the more you create an emotional bond with her, the easier it is to get what you're trying to create with her, if that makes sense. And like I said, NoFap semen retention helps you do this naturally. This is the secret, because the thing is, if you decide to like relapse and let go of your nut, you don't have any desire to be like with her in that sort of sexual tension way. Your desire is pretty much gone. And now when you interact with her, you're gonna look to her as more of a friend. She's gonna look at you as more of a friend than someone she can really be with. So I mean, it would be in your best interest to go on NoFap, to put in work, to build a life that you can be happy with. And also, if you put in the work, it's a lot easier to joke with her, because, like, let's be honest, if your physique is not really there, if your physique isn't really there, it's harder for you to joke about. It's harder for you to joke about, let's say, poking fun at someone who's like overweight if your physique isn't there. It's easier to joke about it if your physique is there, if you're taking care of things in your life. Because the problem is, like, a lot of people just like, they do the same thing. They go through the week, they go through the months, they go through the years, and new opportunities presented to them. They never try new things. They never do anything different. They're in the same spot, and they're asking themselves, why have I really gotten anywhere? Or why don't I have anybody? Or why am I not doing this? And why? It's because, like, your inner matrix, your mindset is of one where you're doing the same thing, but you're expecting a different result. And even if you do try different things, the moment it doesn't work, a lot of people just like to, 95% of the population just stops doing it because they don't think it works. But the person who's willing to persevere through all of the mishaps is usually the ones who actually gets the cookie, who actually gets what they want, because they went through all of that struggle to finally acquire what they wanted. And that's how pretty much life works. You're never going to get on the first try. You're never going to get on the second try. You might not even get on the 100th try, but that 100th first try is when you get it. And it's just like, are you willing to go through that struggle to get that one, to do that one thing that pretty much changes your life? 95% of the population isn't willing to do that. But the top 1%, the top 5% are willing to go through that to get what they want. For an example, Amazon, Jeff Bezos. okay, when he was creating Amazon in his garage with that picture with his hair and everything, I mean, people might have poked fun at him. People might have said that, wow, look at you, who do you think you are? Why can't you just be like us? Why can't you just be normal? Why can't you just, do you think you're special or something like that? They probably said that to him when he was creating his Amazon business. But little did they know that because of his perseverance, sticking with the same thing for a very extended amount of time is what got him to become the owner of the biggest business in the world. Are you willing to go through a lot of scrutiny to just get that, to feel that 1% of success that nobody else has? A lot of people aren't willing to do it. But if you go on NoFap, if you go on retention, you're gonna realize that persistence is the key, and consistency is the key to getting anything that you really, really, really want. So yeah, make sure you like, if you watch this video, make sure you like this video, and you comment and subscribe below how you think you can persevere through the thing that you're trying to go through. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.